Art Ernest Schlichter was born April 25th, 1960, and since his early years, he was a natural competitor. He dominated high school football at Miami Trace High School, winning 29 of his 30 starts, tying just once. He also played basketball for the school, continuing his solid career he had in junior high school, becoming an all-state guard. Around this time, though, he began to indulge into something else that would seem innocent at first, but eventually would derail his career. At just 15, Art began to visit Scioto Downs, a racetrack 40 miles from his home, to gamble with his friends. This became a routine for Schlichter, betting small amounts since he was still a kid at the time. After his high school career, Art was highly sought after, with Woody Hayes, Ohio State's coach, handpicking the young QB to come to his school, willing to revamp the whole offense for him. But the pairing didn't even last a full season, as in the 1978 Gator Bowl. After Art threw an interception, a common theme this season, Hayes punched a Clemson linebacker, Charlie Bowman, which led to his firing the next day. Despite Woody Hayes being out, Schlichter would still thrive his sophomore year, throwing for 1,519 yards with 13 TDs and only 5 picks, landing him 4th in Heisman voting in the Buckeyes to an undefeated season in 1979. Their impressive season ended in a heartbreaking loss to USC by 1 in the Rose Bowl. But that wasn't the biggest story of the season for Art. Art began to be spotted at Scioto Downs, where it all started for him, as well as had public known alliances with the well-known Ohio gambler. But due to lack of evidence, the NCAA was not yet notified. Around the beginning of his junior year, Schlichter began to sports bet, a pivotal moment in his life that he would later reap the consequences of. This decision also had immediate effects, with Art losing thousands of dollars by the end of the year. The off-field secret didn't waver his numbers, as he improved his completion percentage and passing yards. His gambling problems were further disguised due to Schlichter frequently being spotted with his head coach Early Bruce at horse races. Around this time, he was thousands in debt, with debt being paid by money borrowed from his father. His senior year began with him having strong performances and was, per usual, a Heisman candidate. But a suspicious traffic ticket suspension scandal and an ankle injury derailed his senior season. He still played solid, but an upset suffered against Minnesota killed his Heisman hype. Schlichter later stated that he was tired, sore, and frustrated, and basically burnt out from the expectations. His mess of a collegiate career didn't affect his draft value much at all, as he was picked 4th overall by the Baltimore Colts. Coming into the NFL, Schlichter wasn't mentally or physically prepared, and after he showed up to training camp out of shape, he fell to the third-string QB behind another rookie acquired in the 4th round, Mike Pagel. Art was devastated, and his outlet was the one thing he always used as an outlet: gambling. By mid-season, his entire $350,000 signing bonus was gone. The worst was yet to come, as in the first week of the 1982 NFL strike, he lost $20,000, beginning a cycle that saw him the very next week lose double the amount. By the end of the strike, he was $700,000 in debt. When the college basketball season started, Schlichter began to throw $30,000 a night on bets. At this time, he gained 20 pounds as he fell into a deep depression, rotting in his parents' house wondering how he would pay off his debts. But after efforts to quit gambling with therapy, he spiraled out of control, borrowing money from anybody he could. He later recalled telling himself he would pay up, but never truly did, and kept firing bets. From winter of 1982 to the spring of 1983, he lost a total of $489,000 on basketball games. Bookies that he owed grew angry and impatient with Schlichter's empty promises and began to threaten his family and promised to expose his secrets and break his throwing arm. Art, afraid for his life, contacted the FBI. This led to the arrest of 4 bookies in Baltimore. Obviously, though, this didn't help the fact that he was an NFL QB that profusely gambled, which was illegal in the NFL. He was suspended indefinitely by the NFL in 1983, but was reinstated for the 1984 season. He gambled even during the suspension, and after the Colts front office got hints that he was gambling again, they released him in the 1985 season. In 1984, he went 0-5 as a starter and threw 3 TDs to 7 interceptions. His one start in 1985, he threw 2 interceptions on a 48% completion percentage. And after his time in Indy, he was left bitter and in debt. He still let out hope that another opportunity to prove himself would present itself, but this opportunity never came. In January 1987, Art was arrested on illegal gambling charges and missed out on an opportunity to back up for Boomer Esiason on the Bengals. He was basically explicitly banned at this point, and after a denied try for reinstatement, he filed for bankruptcy. The drama of his personal life foreshadowed his football talents and broke him from the inside out. He later went on to say that he was distracted most of his NFL career and he went through a lot. He also stated that he felt the pressure of his past success and felt that he had an outstandingly performed. Nevertheless, his under 50% completion percentage and his 3-11 TD to interception ratio on his career solidified him as one of the biggest draft busts in NFL history. He returned to football, playing for the CFL in the Arena Football League, and he saw success in the AFL as he won MVP of the league in 1990, as he later on won a championship. But in 1992, he retired, seemingly focused on his radio career. But it was later revealed that he was forced to retire to avoid being banned for a habit he said he left behind him: gambling. His radio career later was also derailed because Art's addiction. Art Schlichter had let gambling infiltrate his mind, and he acted differently because of it. The once innocent kid who loved to watch horse races became a liar, who would have manipulated a blind woman if it meant he'd be able to place a bet. He did many disgraceful things to make money for gambling. He once pawned off his wife's wedding ring to place wagers. It got overwhelmingly bad, and after his playing career, he continued to get arrested, showing signs that he never would truly change. But the damage was already done, and he had lost everything. And if it's one lesson kids can learn from this video at home, yeah, it's to don't gamble.